Hiya and welcome to the Redmen TV. Liverpool have just drawn 2-2 against Arsenal. Absolute mad game of football that was. Andy, oh my God, 20 minutes in, I thought we're going to get absolutely battered.
Yeah, before the game I thought this game could go any way. I can see 4-0 Arsenal, I can see 4-0 Liverpool. Any scoreline, nothing would have surprised me. But like that first 35 minutes, it was just pure football from Arsenal. It was a mid-table team against the top of the league team, and that was being borne out in every single play that was happening. And then they do something stupid. It's exactly what they did last year. They ignite the crowd. They get involved in a stupid fight and they ignite the crowd, and for the last 55 minutes or so, Anfield is absolutely feral. We get our goal back before half time. We should get a goal after half time, but we keep going, we keep plugging away. And that Firmino header, it can't be understated how good a header it is. That ball's behind him. He can only head the ball up in the air, and he has to get that dip on it just to get it in over the crossbar, under the crossbar, without putting not enough pace on it for Ramsdale's able to get it. It's an incredible header. I'm so happy. I do not want them to win the league one bit, and I'm so happy that we've potentially derailed that.
I don't know about that. I don't really care for that. I'm more bothered at the fact that Liverpool have somehow not lost a game of football. What changed then? Obviously, it was that Trent situation where Trent I don't even know what happens. I assume Xhaka left one on him.
Yeah, it was right in front of me. So Xhaka comes in and just sort of like nudges him after the ball's being completely played away. And then Trent sort of gets up and goes behind him and goes, "What are you doing?" And then it was just head to head then. Yeah. And it was like, I was like, honestly, I thought there could have been a headbutt thrown and then someone was going to get sent off the way it was going. But then both sets of players come in and pull it apart. But yeah, like Andy said, it just completely ignited the crowd from that point. It was like, again, Arteta last season, like, learn from your mistakes. Yeah. They've done training before where they've played the sound of Anfield to try and get them ready for it. You know that's what happens. Like, it was just really stupid mistake, I think, from them. From that moment on, we were the better team. Before that, I honestly thought it was going to be the United game in reverse, and I thought we were just going to get absolutely smashed and it was going to be a cricket score.
Is there anything that annoys you today? Because there is something that annoys me. Yeah, we've came out with a draw, right, yeah. But why? In that, 10 minutes to go in the first half and the entire second half, I saw more passion, more desire, more want than I have the entire season. Why can they do that for 45 minutes in one game, but they can't give me it from the start? I don't get it. The first 20 was absolutely shambolic, and for some reason, every single game, I felt like we've tried. I keep saying, use something. We need a bit of momentum. We need you to turn it around, show us something, and they did. But why can't they do that from the off? Why does it have to be in one game every 20? It's mental for me.
Yeah, definitely. I just, like I said, don't get it. I think we've seen this season the big games, United, City at home, we can turn it on. And it's back to Liverpool of a few years ago where the little teams would come and they don't really care. They're just playing for the big occasions, and definitely like something that needs to be fixed, because, like you said, if they can play like that now, why couldn't they do it last weekend against City or even midweek during Chelsea? I'm thinking now forward to Leeds next Monday, and it's like, do we play like that at Leeds? Because at the minute, off past performances, I don't think we will, but we've shown we can do it.
Yeah,
so
we
to
have.
answer your question, Chloe, I don't think we've got the legs anymore to do it for 90 minutes game on game on game. They put a hell of a lot into that season last year. They had to give 100% every single match, and I just don't think they have the legs to do it for 90 minutes every week now. I think they can put it into short bursts. I think they can do it when the crowd energises them, but I just don't think they can do it all the time. But obviously, Liverpool's always sort of been like that. Anfield's always been like that, where if you get us up for it, if you do something stupid that ignites us, even if it's like over absolutely nothing, if the players start fighting and the players start scrapping for everything, the players start going for every 50-50, you're not going to win at that place. And if we'd have played for another 10 minutes tonight, I'm fairly sure we'd have won that game 3 or 4-2.
Yeah, I mean,
Bobby, when he came on, Bobby was the only player. He's not going to be here next season, we know, but he was the only one showing the fight for it, and that says a lot. A player that's not even going to be here, so it doesn't matter what happens to the club really, for him, is out there fighting. He came on and he was all over the pitch. There was no one else during that game that showed that for me, and I think Bobby, we're going to miss him.
Yeah, I'm going to start with something in the second half. Well, pretty much the first half going into the second, that kind of bamboozled me, and that was Trent playing right side in defensive midfield. Yeah. We had no out ball on the right. You could see Salah was struggling. Konate was fantastic tonight, by the way. But you could see he needed help. And it kind of felt like when we were in possession, Trent was always in the midfield. We struggled. I thought that was a bit mental of us. We got to grips with it. We obviously controlled it, but that was obviously also the crowd getting involved there. What do you think's happening with Trent's position now? Because we're clearly trying it out.
So at this point, I'm not particularly bothered with us trying anything until the end of the season. We've got 10 games. At this stage, we're 12 points off the top 4, I think, if games in hand are caught up in the way we expect. I think we're 12 points off the top 4. So I don't mind trying Trent at the 8. I don't mind trying Trent in the 6. And if it doesn't work, then we revert to type next season and hope we get legs back in midfield. But I thought what they were trying to do with him is what City have been doing with John Stones all season, which is it's 4 at the back, but in possession it's 3 at the back, and he comes into the midfield. And that 3 and the 2 seems to be the way all the good European teams are building up in possession this year. It gives you triangles all over the park. Obviously there were teething problems with it today. I agree with you. Gabriel was right on to Salah every single time, putting so much pressure on him. But there were a couple of times Salah got the better of him as well. I don't think Salah had a particularly bad game by any stretch of the imagination today. Obviously his penalty's dreadful. And I think he's a little bit in his own head about it after the Bournemouth one. I mean, it must be the first 2 penalties he's missed the target for Liverpool, and it just happens to be the last 2. But in general play, I thought he had a little bit of joy. I thought we got Henderson. I thought we got Trent. I thought we got Salah in areas down that right-hand side. And it's not something I'd be averse to trying. It's something they'll have tried once in a game. They'll have watched the video. They'll have see how we can tweak it. And, you know, it could potentially be effective. But as I say, teams are doing that all over the country, all over Europe. They're playing with 3 at the back and going with 2 in midfield in possession. And then that can change when you're off the ball. So I've no issue with us going down that route either.
We just mentioned Salah there. I've came out that ground thinking, how the hell have Liverpool not won a football game when they were 2-0 down after like 20 minutes? We had so many chances. Salah's penalty, Jota's Darwin Núñez has to score the goal. He's one-on-one with Ramsdale. You've got to score. I don't think he particularly impacted us very well, Darwin Núñez, to be honest, when he came on. And then in the final minute, I don't know how close it is to being over the line, but that Konate one, I mean, once again, Núñez should hit the target. I don't know how he's not headed it on target. I've gone from, it's just a mad feeling. You've gone from potentially thinking, oh my God, we're going to get absolutely battered, to how the hell have we not won this game of football?
Yeah, so I was right in line with the goal line, so when it came in, I was like, oh, and I could see it just disappear behind the post, and then like you're just praying you see that bit come over the wire, and it didn't. But yeah, just I'm going to openly admit, I said before Salah took the penalty, I didn't think he should took it. I had a shout for Jota. I thought if Jota misses it, it's not the end of the world. Where I think Mo's going to get a bit of stick because it's now 2 in the row and everyone's looking for excuses. But I thought if Jota got it, that could have been the boost of confidence he needed with the goal scoring, because everyone keeps going on about how long it's been, and I think people are forgetting he's been injured for most of that time. But yeah, how Núñez didn't score it, it's one of them ones where I think we need to give all credit to Ramsdale, because he made himself big on the floor. And
that save in the last minute as well by him was absolutely unbelievable. One last thing on the Salah penalty, you should just hit the target. I don't care who you are. Just make the goalkeeper work, even if it's an absolute crap penalty, but it's on target. The keeper can flap at it. The fact that he's put it far wide, I don't know how you don't hit it as a professional footballer. That's just me saying that. I thought he was all right tonight. I thought Salah was decent. Moving on to another big moment in the game, which I have never seen anything quite like it in all my life. Andy Robertson gets elbowed in the head by an official. Oh my word. It is absolutely awful. Basically, he's walking, Andy Robbo comes over to him, he's walking over to the referees, at half time to go into the centre circle, and he literally, and I'm not even having you on, he does that and chins him, uppercuts him. They've already brought out a statement saying we will review it and give you, an overall feeling on what they think happened. I'm waiting for them to tell me that the wind blew. We're getting a photo. Go on then, go on. Photo. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that.
I thought the officials, just in general, I haven't seen the incident really. I've seen it all over Twitter, but I thought the officials in general, not particularly biased either way. I just thought they were pretty dreadful tonight. They didn't do anything. They didn't slow the game down when it was getting too fast paced. They didn't bring players into that. That's absolutely fine. Stand at my toe anytime you like, Chloe Bloxam. The referee wouldn't give anything for that either today. So honestly, I thought it was just really poor old game. I thought Yeah, they didn't deal with the time wasting at all. They were given narrative decisions, context decisions all over the pitch, and I just thought they were all sort of really dreadful tonight. And can I just make a point on the substitutions? Courtney brought it up there, and I think he makes 2 substitutions. He brings Thiago on for Curtis Jones. I thought that worked really, really well. Yeah. I thought Jones really struggled tonight, and I've been.
He was good midweek against Chelsea.
He was, and I've been a defender of him, and I don't mind him doing that sort of genie thing. Obviously, he's nowhere near as good as Wijnaldum, but I don't mind him doing the genie thing of just taking it slow, finding that pass and getting his foot on it. But there were a couple of times tonight he could have spread the play out and used the ball a lot better than he did. I do, however, think. That the Jota for Nunez change didn't really work in general play. I thought Nunez was effective. When the ball comes into the box, Nunez will fight for it from goal kicks. He'll fight for headers. But in terms of how we were building up, I thought that killed us a little bit and killed our momentum. Obviously, we'd get the momentum back last 10 minutes or so. But I actually thought, as much stick as Jota's getting at the minute, I think he always does these things well. He uses his body well.
He wins as a penalty as well.
He wins as a penalty. He uses his body well. He uses the ball well at times as well. And I think all this chat about selling him this summer is a little bit hasty. I really like him, and we don't know sort of where his body's at after these injuries. If this is his level now, then that's maybe a conversation to have. But let's get him a pre-season. Let's get him back on track and see if we can hit those levels that he hit sort of between January and March last year, because he was our best player by a mile during that time.
He was incredible. Lastly then, where do we go from here? Because at least I saw something in that game. I saw fight, I saw desire in that second half. I saw a team that could have scored 4 or 5 as well. We've got to use it and take it on to Leeds, surely.
Yeah, every time we say that though,
it never happens.
It never happens. We all buzzing after the 7-0, and then you have a break and then you come back and it's a completely different side. And yeah, I hope that little bit of fight. Maybe bring Bobby on, start Bobby every game, because Bobby, just a fight from him will wind up the crowd and maybe start a fight in each game, and maybe that'll help us.
Yeah, maybe it will. Before we do go though, I just want to say a fair play to Arsenal, I really do, because they observed a minute's silence respectfully, like they should have done. Arteta wore a 97 pin badge in his, press thing, whatever he did. So fair play, I respect you all for that. Unlike Andy, who doesn't want you to win the league, I'm not bothered if you do. So fair play to you.
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs when you're
respecting someone.
It's a sad state of affairs when you're waiting for something to be shouted during a minute's silence. But it was never in doubt. Class supporters, class from their players and their manager obviously laying the wreath. I pulled a face there when you've said respect to Arsenal. I didn't realise you were going to say that. So just to completely clear that up. Yeah, 100%, top drawer. Well done, Arsenal.
I think it's the best silence we've had in a long time at Anfield as well, with the away fans. So
yeah, it is. Props to you. But also Liverpool, if you could take that momentum, that second half, and do it over 90 minutes against Leeds, I'd really appreciate it. Nice one for listening. Up the Reds.
We are really proud of what we've built at Redmen Plus. At Redmen TV, we employ 11 people in the Liverpool area. It's something that I am so proud of. And we couldn't have done it without the support of you guys who watch the videos and the people who subscribe to redmenplus.com. If you like the cut of our job, if you like the content that we make, then we make more of it. Redmenplus.com. Help us to help the community by signing up today.